Hello, folks. It's that time of year. I've finished the winter-based plans and they are uploaded to the SWAT shop. Okay, now if you haven't been to the SWAT shop before, then this is what you are looking for. All right, so we're just going to, this is it. It's called trainingpeaks.com, My Training Plans SWAT. So I'll just move that up there. And now you can see that what's still up there, right, these are programs I've loaded early on in the year, which is why they are still at the top of the list. So there's some marathon sessions. There's a Gran Fondo training plan. There's a half marathon plan. There's an FTP booster and a CSS booster. For those of you who haven't finished your seasons yet, there's a get out of shape plan. And then we have the winter base plan. Now you'll notice here that there are just 2 winter base plans this year. There's the 3 sessions a week, which amounts to somewhere between 7 and 11 hours, and I'll get onto that in a moment. And then there's the next one below it, which is 2 swim, bike and run sessions a week, and that has a range of between 4.5 and 7 hours a week. And then just below that, you'll see that there are 2 strength plans. Okay. Right, and you can choose which one of those. The first one is an own choice strength. So if you're already going to the gym and you've got a workout schedule that you're sticking to, that's fine. You don't need one from me, but there is a bit of daily mobility in there and some core exercises just to give you a nudge. And this one here is one from last year, which I created, which is doing your daily mobility and your core work and working with kettlebells. Okay, now I'm going to add a couple more on that. I'm going to add one with resistance bands if you have those. And I'm going to add a body weight one as well, but that's going to take a few days to get to you. So for the moment, I'm going to explain what's happening with the winter base plans. So let me just get out of here. And now I'm going to go to this one. Okay, so I've already loaded up a winter base plan with 2 sessions a week. So you see here, on the Monday of the first day, there's an explanation about what's going to happen in the first 6 weeks. No HIIT work, lots of zone 2 work. You'll also see that Monday is originally planned as a no training day. Now, I appreciate that some of you prefer to take a Friday or a Wednesday or some other day of the week, and that's fine. If you've got a premium Training Peaks account, then you can shift your sessions around and put them wherever you want. If you don't have a premium Training Peaks account, that's a little bit more difficult. You probably have to do it with pencil and paper. And then once you've done the training session, then you can put all of your data in from your Garmin watch or whatever device you're using. Okay, so I do recommend upgrading to Training Peaks Premium. We do have a SWAT discount code of 20%. That costs you about £100 per year if you pay annually. And it's well worth it because you also get access to all of the back office graphs and things that you can use to check your progress. Okay, so going back to the program, no training day, so a little bit of introduction on there. Now, I'll come back to this third box if you have a bit more time in a moment. Let's first talk about what you've got as a base. 45-minute swim session twice a week. As I said, there's no HIIT workouts yet, so this is all about technique. And one thing you'll see in here is on the swim drills, I've suggested you use 3 drills to target your number 1 technical flaw. So everybody will have a different technical flaw. Let's say yours is the catch. There are 3 drills you probably want to get, which will help you to improve your catch. And I would suggest that you stick to those for the next few months and just practice them relentlessly until you become perfect. I think the days of having different drills for different days of the week for entertainment are long gone because you never really get good at anything. So in this way, you should have 3 drills. If you don't know what your technical flaw is in the pool and you're interested to find out and you're really engaged in getting better, then go and see a swim coach who can look at you and hopefully take some video and identify what that flaw is and then suggest some drills for you to do. So I'm not suggesting a drill here. I'm suggesting that you do some. Now, if you want me to give you some drills, send me an email or put some post up in the Facebook page and I will do that for you. Okay. There are 2 cycle sessions a week. One is the long ride at the weekend and the other is a zone 2 type of workout. So you won't find these particularly difficult. You'll have to concentrate a bit to probably make sure you're not going too hard. And then on the running, you've got a zone 2 run with some strides at the end, and you've got a zone 1, zone 2 longer run at the weekend, right? And in total, that's going to give you 5.5 hours or just under training a week, which comes from an hour and a half of swimming, 2.5 hours of riding, and an hour and 20. Now, I know some of you only have time for that, and that's great. So this is the program you want to choose. But you'll see here that if you have a bit more time, so let's say you do only want to do 1 session per day, but you've got a bit more time to do maybe an hour of swimming, or maybe a bit more time on the weekend to do a longer bike ride. I've created this little document here, which explains how to go about that. All right, so swim sets, add an extra 5 minutes to the warm-up, and the prep sets, maybe 10 minutes to the main set. So you've got a maximum of 60 minutes. On the long ride, go up to a maximum of 2 hours. That's adding an hour and a half. You could also add a little bit to the warm-up and cool down on any of the weekday sets, but stick to a max of around 3 hours a week. And the running has got about 80 minutes of running each week, building to 95. So for those of you who want to build fitness, that'll be enough if you're consistent. But if you've got a bit more time, feel free to add 5 to 15 minutes to the main part of one of the other runs, and maybe 15 or so minutes to your long run. But keep your overall volume at around 2 hours. It's also possible to downgrade your sessions a little bit or make them a bit shorter if you're short of time, and there's some guidance on that. And I've also given some guidance on recovery weeks, because I don't think you should be looking to increase the volume of your training in a recovery week. If you feel like you've got more time, spend it on something that's going to have more value, like a bit more mobility, or maybe a bit of extra sleep, or maybe an additional rest day. Okay, so for some of you who like absolute structure and like to be told, I've got to do 60 minutes today, or you've got to do 90 minutes, you might find this a little challenging. But what I've tried to do is accommodate those folks who I know have fluid schedules, and for whom some weeks they have a little bit more time and some weeks they have a little bit less time. Now, this is a 21-week plan, which means that you've got 7 blocks of work, each of which is 3 weeks. And that's 1 build a week, another build a week, a recovery week. And then it repeats 6 more times. What I'd like to see is a slow increase on your performance management chart. Now, it won't be linear. It'll drop back a bit as you ebb and flow. But I'd really like to see consistency, and I'm sure you would too. So this also gives you the opportunity to just ease your foot off the gas a little bit if you're feeling a bit tired, a bit run down. Right? If you can do 21 weeks of continuous training, but being a bit flexible on the volume, that's fine. Once we start to get to, I'll move on to that now. From week 7, I start to add in some intervals. You'll see here on the bike, they come at the end of a zone 2 session. There you can see the zone 2 set, and then there's a little set of intervals at the end. And on the running, zone 2 run, followed by a little bit of a kicker at the end, only for 5 minutes, just to get you working in zone 3 or 4. And that continues, although that pattern, same pattern for the cycling, the pattern alternates 5-minute tempo effort at the end of one zone 2 run, the next week, a zone 2 run with some 30-second intervals that maybe a 5K pace, just similar to the biking. Obviously, a recovery week every 3rd week, and that pattern continues for another 9 weeks. And then when you get to week 16, the intensity goes up a little bit more. So this is where you're going to be increasing your load slightly. Okay, now, and also certainly on your long rides, I'd just be keeping it consistent at around 1.5 to 2 hours a week. On the runs, I'd start off easy in week 1 and I'd slowly build up. So maybe you're doing 60-minute runs by the end of the 21 weeks. So this is going to keep you consistent. And obviously you're going to add your daily mobility and your strength there. So that's going to add a little bit more workload for you. All right. Let's get on to the 3 sessions a week. I'll just load that one up and show you what the difference is. Now you can see you've got 9 workouts spread across swim, bike and run. So that's 3 of each. Still a no training day on a Monday. Still an explanation of what's to come in the next 6 or 9 weeks. And you'll find one of those as you notice that the intensity ramps up a little bit. Swim session still 45 minutes, but with guidance in this if you have a bit more time to be able to build them up to 60 minutes. Bike sessions around 1 hour during the midweek, and then up to 2 hours at the weekends with the guidance on how to sort of add a little bit more in if you have time. And 3 runs, giving you about 2.5 hours of running. Now, again, there is guidance on how to increase the volume, but 2 hours 20 is more than enough for most people to get good running fitness if you could do this for 21 weeks. And that's the real kicker, doing it for 21 weeks. It's the same pattern as the 2 sessions a week program, except there's 3. Okay, so you go through to week 6, just all zone 2 stuff, build a nice base, little bit of intensity introduced from zone 7 right up to, from week 7 right up to week 15. And then from week 16, we do introduce some intervals in the swim, in the bike, and a little bit of intensity on the run. Okay, so that's it. Just 2 sessions this year. Now, there will be some of you there who want to improve your swimming, and some of you feel like you want to give a little bit more emphasis to your bike over the winter. My suggestion is that you download this program, and then if you want to do the first 6 weeks, because that'll give you a nice base, right? So you need to get started, and I wouldn't suggest diving straight in. Excuse the pun if swimming's the thing you want to improve. I wouldn't suggest getting stuck into it right away. What I would suggest is have your base first 6 weeks, and then look to add something like a 15-week program to up the swimming or the biking. With the running, I'm always a little bit more cautious because that's where most people get injured. But if you really, really want to up your running because you've got a marathon coming up in the spring, then let me know that and I'll give you a marathon plan. Now, if you download, and I am going to put a winter-based plan, swim improvers. It won't be an FT, it won't be a CSS improvers, but it will be a swim improver thing. So there'll be 4 sessions a week. So what I suggest is, before you download that new swim program, get rid of all of the other swim sessions in your diary, because when you upload it, then if you haven't got rid of them, then you're going to have way too many swim sessions each week. And the easiest way to delete a session is to highlight it here. So you click over the tile that is for that swim session. The 3 lines there, like a hamburger icon. Click on that and you can see it says delete. Click on that and that session will disappear. Okay, so that's an easy job for you to do. It'll take you a few minutes to work through 15 weeks of 45 sessions maybe and delete them all. But then you'll have no swimming in your program, and then you upload your swim accelerator program. And then once you've got that into Training Peaks, you can then move everything around onto the days when you're going to go swimming. The same thing for your cycling. If you want a cycling accelerator plan, remove all the cycling sessions from Training Peaks first, and then add the new plan, which will have a few more sessions. Now, this, if you're going to download a program that's got 4 sessions a week, and you've removed 3, that's going to give you 10 sessions a week. So you might also have to cut out one of the other sessions to give yourself some space, because for most people, 10 is a lot of sessions per week. Okay, so I think that explains everything. As I said, the programs are now available in this page here. Okay, trainingpeaks.com, my-training-plans SWAT. I'm also going to put that in the link below on Facebook so you can see it once again. If you've got any questions or comments about any of this, please put them in the Facebook page so everybody can see them. And enjoy your winter training.